Howdy Moz fans, and welcome to a spooky Halloween edition of Whiteboard Friday. This week I'm wearing some fangs, so if you have a slight trouble understanding me, don't worry, all the text is going to be down there below. I wanted to talk a little about Google Plus and how it's influencing Google's results. These aren't going to work, are they? Oh, I can't take them out. Yeah, they're like in there. All right, we're going to try this again. Howdy Moz fans, and welcome to a spooky Halloween edition of Whiteboard Friday. I'm wearing some fangs this week, as you can see, so if you have some trouble understanding me, don't worry, all the text is right down there. Trevor will be transcribing special this week. I wanted to talk a little about using Google Plus to appear in Google's top results. It's really interesting what we've been observing over the last few weeks and months of Google Plus's development. So check this out. If I do a search for data science and I'm logged into my Google Plus account, which is Ranfish, right? Ranfish at Gmail, I see under data science how Moz's data science team works, which is pretty weird actually. I think that's very strange because this was just posted. It was posted on our dev blog, which isn't on our main site, right? It's a subdomain. It doesn't rank very well. If you search and I'm not logged in, you won't find it in the first 100 results at all. It's showing up here because it's been shared by an account that I follow, right? It'll say, Moz shared this. And that's the guy. That's happening because of the Google Plus integration. You might say, okay, that's moderately interesting. I can search for very broad things too, like industry survey, and get, yes, the S&P industry surveys for the Americas, right? Standard & Poor's. But then I get take the 2013 Moz industry survey. Whoa, suddenly Moz is ranking all over the place. Again, this is happening because Jonathan Coleman, Dharmesh Shah, Pete Myers, and one other person that I follow on Google Plus +1 it. Google Plus biasing again. And there's more. I tried some queries for Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, think how broad a search query that is. There was a post by Gianluca that he had shared today with a photo, and that showed up in my results. These are all plus Google, right? This is plus Google that's showing up his post. Consumer purchasing power, a Google Plus post by Avinash Kaushik showed up because it was shared, and I follow him. Patrick Stewart, I mean, it's a celebrity query. It gets millions of searches a month, and, well, probably hundreds of thousands because Star Trek TNG hasn't been on for a while, but in our hearts, it's always been on. Post by George Takei, right? I follow George Takei on Google Plus, and so there you go. A post from him about Patrick Stewart is in there. It was a delightful post, by the way. What this means for marketers, particularly SEOs who are using search and social and content together in their marketing, is the audience on Google Plus is becoming more and more valuable to us, right? Essentially, these are search-savvy, tech-savvy folks who are potentially reachable and reachable without the classic kinds of ranking signals. I don't have to do 1/10 of the work that I had to do to rank for these types of queries before. All I have to do is get you to follow me on Google+. And even if these people aren't using Google Plus as a social network, even if they're not visiting plus.google.com and doing sharing types of things and following people in +1ing, it doesn't matter, because they're still being biased so long as they follow your account. So long as you're encircled by those individuals, it's valuable. And by the way, this is not just happening to people who have set up Google Plus and are actually following you. It happens to anyone who's logged into a Google account and has connected with you over email, meaning they've exchanged one or a few emails back and forth. It can't just be you spamming them. It's got to be you're actually receiving mail from them as well. Gmail is another way to get this same sort of bias. And you can see it in there if you're logged into your Gmail account and you can see, hey, I'm not following this person on Google+. Oh, we've exchanged emails, so they're showing me these results higher that they +1. Oh my God. Google+ sharing obviously is critical because of these influential factors, to SEOs in particular. But be very careful, because think about this. If you overshare, if I shared every single keyword, every single page that I wanted to rank on, just so that anyone who followed me on Google Plus would be biased to seeing it, I would soon lose subscribers. In fact, I'm sure I would lose them very fast. People would be like, what the hell is Rand doing? Filling up my stream, and none of these have +1s. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if Google's using some indication of metrics around usage to actually determine, hey, wait a minute, this is getting no +1s, no shares, no comments. Why would I show this to anybody? I'm pushing it down in the results. I'm not going to show it, right? These are all things that did receive quite a lot of activity. Well, actually, Gianluca's post hadn't received any activity yet, but it's very recent, and lots of Gianluca's activity lots of his posts do receive activity. So if you overshare, you got to be careful about that, right? So I like to say, I think discretion is key here. Also, even if you don't have a Google Plus audience, I have no audience on Google Plus, it doesn't matter because influencers, people who do have audiences on Google Plus, might be sharing your stuff. That's fascinating to imagine. Now, it's almost like, hey, I don't use Twitter, but if I can just get someone to tweet some of this stuff for me, I know I'll get traffic. Well, on Google Plus, it's not just the traffic that you'll get. You'll also get high rankings from all of their audience. It's really remarkable. By the way, one thing of warning, there is a time decay on this stuff, right? So one of the things is, I don't see all the posts that George Takei has historically made, I can barely say historically with these teeth, that he's historically made about Patrick Stewart. I only see the ones from just recently. So there's a time decay factor. It looks like between a week and a month, depending on which accounts you're following, what types of queries you're doing. At least that's what I'm seeing in my accounts. Your mileage may vary, but being aware of that time decay means that if there's a topic that's very valuable, you know you have a potential social audience to reach that's either following you on Google Plus or connected with you through email, that might mean that publishing on a regularly scheduled basis, right? I might say, hey, if ranking for consumer purchasing power is really important to me, maybe I want to put up a blog post every month or two about consumer purchasing power. And what's crazy is you don't need exact keyword matching, right? The post about Patrick Stewart here did not have exact keyword matching. So this is a very broad algorithm that's currently biasing to show these Google Plus results. This is an incredibly powerful tool for search marketers and social marketers. I think it's something that is going to get a lot more attention in the year to come. And with that, everyone, happy Halloween!
Bye.